to Covering the Fields with your host, Joe Ellison.
Welcome to the Covering the Field Major League Baseball season preview. I'm Joe Ellison, and with me today are Rockin, Ronnie McKinnon, and Gator Gates. So let's lead off. Ronnie, before the season starts, how does the injury front look?
Well, we have a few, Joe. Anyway, thanks for having me. Good to be here. Adam Wainwright, St. Louis Cardinal, right-handed starting pitcher. He's 41 years old this year, but he's still going to be pitching, but he suffered a groin strain in the weight room. That was actually on Tuesday. He's probably going to miss several weeks. So we'll see what happens. He actually has been the opening day starter for the Cardinals like 7 times, but he's going to miss this year in his 18-year career, and he should be back soon. Then we have Raisel Iglesias. He's an Atlanta closer. He has a sore right shoulder, and he will begin the season on the 15-day injured list. Then we have Rhys Hoskins, Philadelphia, right-handed first baseman. I don't know if you saw the game the other day or earlier. I think it was last Thursday, actually. He was going out for a ball from first base into short right field. Anyway, he tore his ACL, and he's one of the guys they count on. He's probably out for the whole year. He'll need reconstructive surgery on his left knee. So we'll see. Not a good sign. Actually, Harper for Philadelphia isn't ready to play quite yet either for Philadelphia, but they should have a good year. We'll see what happens.
It appears he'll be out a month, it looks like. Or
Harper.
2 months, actually.
Yeah, he'll probably, that's the last thing I heard. He'll probably miss the first 2 months of the season.
They're saying something like May 30th is what they're saying.
And that's, first 2 months of the season. And he had the Tommy John surgery on the right elbow. Luis Severino, New York Yankees starting pitcher, low-grade right lat strain. He'll likely begin the season on the injured list. And usually, maybe a 15-day DL, maybe 10. I don't know. They didn't say. Then we have Kyle Wright, right-handed starting pitcher for Atlanta. He has a right shoulder ailment. He'll be on the injured list, not eligible to be activated before April 11th. So we'll see what happens. Last year, he was actually the only 20-game winner in baseball, Kyle Wright from Atlanta. And then lastly, we have Joey Votto. Been around a while. Joey Votto, he will start the season on the injured list. He has a torn rotator cuff in the left shoulder, surgery actually, and from the left shoulder and the biceps. He's a left-handed first baseman for Cincinnati, and I think Joey's like 39 now. He's been around a while.
I would say.
Yeah. He's been around, still a productive player, and so we hope to see him play soon.
Mm-hmm. And that also goes with the injuries we saw from the World Baseball Classic. Obviously, Edwin Diaz, we closer done for the season
for the Mets. That's right.
We talked about that.
We talked about that
on the the normal Covering the Field show.
That's
and we lost from the Astros, Jose Altuve.
That's right,
for a couple months
in the same in the WBC. So that happens. You're going to play. It could happen. I get why they want to play, and I'd want to too. It's pretty neat to go represent.
Well, they saved Clayton Kershaw for the regular season.
Well, yeah, we never heard exactly why. They didn't say, and the Dodgers didn't say why he didn't go, but I would bet it'd be like, you know what, you get hurt a lot, and we only get you for a half a year, so why don't you just stay home? Yeah. And actually, he's been doing really well in spring training, and he's really healthy. So I think that was a good call. But he wanted to go bad, and I don't know what the discussion was, but he didn't go.
But it seemed like there was only a couple really bad injuries in the World Baseball Classic.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially to keep players on their teams, and it's just going to happen when you're playing. I mean, the weird part is the Met closer getting hurt on the celebration after the game. I mean, that's just crazy. Yeah. One more thing I want to talk about, though, we always like to bring up the girls, or the young women, I should say. Melissa Lambert. She's a director of behavioral science, and she's got a bunch of degrees, and teams are starting to get somebody like that. She'll actually be in the dugout, and they're actually starting to get somebody like that for the players to talk to, like a psychologist, like a therapist. A lot of times the players don't want to talk to the manager or somebody like that. I think it's a great idea. And she's the first person in her role to have a seat in the dugout. And I think it's, first woman to be on field, on Major League on-field staff, and it's for the Kansas City Royals. And so I think that was worth bringing up.
It might keep the gentleman a little more gentlemanly too, having a woman on the in the.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's still all right if they're gonna, cuss and spit and shit. I mean, that's gonna happen, right? It's like, but I think it's a great idea, and this is somebody that's totally got the degrees and qualified to do that, and already. They're finding that the players are going to her. She's not going to them. They've already found that they're going to her and asking her, to talk to her. And so she's not trying to have to go seek him out and go, hey, you need help, right? So I think that's great.
Okay.
I like it.
Well, Ronnie, coming in this season, we got some serious rules changes this year. Could you share them with us?
Well, we already know we've discussed it before about the pitch timer. I'm okay with that. I guess it's working okay in spring training. They've done it in the minors.
In the minors, they're 26 minutes less in games.
Yeah,
only 2 hours and 38 minutes.
Right. Yeah, I'm one of those baseball purists from the beginning. I don't like any of these kind of things really, but I'm okay with that.
The majors, let's see, in 2021, 3 hours and 10-minute games.
Yeah, true.
Last year, 3 hours and 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The average has been over 3 hours each year since 2015.
It's baseball to me. So I don't, I don't really, I'm not crazy about it all, but I think that, that's okay. The bigger bases, another, I won't go into all the exact bases and stuff.
18 inches, not 15.
Not 15, right. It makes it basically maybe 3 inches closer, right?
They say between bases, it's 4.5 inches closer.
Right, exactly.
So
that's exactly right. And I have that right here. I have all that. And I wasn't going to detail every single thing about it, but it's, people say, oh, the runner's gonna, be closer to going. Well, you know what? The first base, his throw is going to be that much closer too. So it's like, we'll see what happens. If it stops some of those injuries from stepping on each other, the first base, the guy running to first, hey, that's awesome. I'm okay with that.
Well, the league said in the minors, 13% less injuries at bases.
No, I'm okay with that. I think the one that I hate the most, and I think everybody knows.
I did want to say that was the only rule change that the players supported.
What's that?
Was the bases being bigger,
right?
And there will be more stolen bases probably,
right?
And we need to add some excitement to the game.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know. I think they're always talking about these players being bigger and stronger and faster, and all we're doing is just giving them, making it easier for them. I mean, just like the shift. That's the one I hate.
Yeah,
the shift. I hate it.
But when they took the pitchers away from hitting, you took away the small game. So this is a way to bring back the small game.
That's great. The art of bunting, you don't see it much anymore, and true sacrificing and with the bunts. And I like stolen bases. I mean, I grew up watching, Maury Wills and Lou Brock and those guys.
And Ricky Anderson.
Well, of course. And
he's
the all-time leader in stolen bases in history.
I haven't had a favorite player since.
That's Ricky. Right. Well, he was on your Oakland A's. Yeah. So, so I'm just not the shift thing. No. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Describe the shift.
I don't like
if you can.
The infielders have to stay on their side of the field. So the shortstop and third baseman has to be between second and third. First and second baseman have to be between first and second. They have to be on the dirt. They can't even be on the edge of the outfield grass. I'm like, what? And then they go to the principal's office if they are. I mean, I don't like it. But an outfielder can move. Like they could take their left fielder and move him all the way over. Then of course left field's totally open, right? So they can move an outfielder. I don't like it, man. You know, we learned to hit the other way when we were young. And if you were a real baseball player and had good coaching, and these guys, I don't like it. But anyway.
No, I like it. And the reason that I like it is it puts the.
But you like hockey.
No, I liked. I think baseball tries to take the manager out of the game a lot of the times with all these rule changes that they've done within the last 10, 20 years. So I like it when you can keep the manager in the game.
Yeah. Well, we need managers, no doubt. We don't need
but the shift is a manager's decision.
No, yeah, I know. And managers do have a lot to do with it. Yeah, they don't actually play the game, but you know what? They have a lot to do with it. I just see too many, and I'm a Dodger fan, and Dave Roberts, too many micromanagers that are always trying to, I'm like, you know what? Let them play the game, man. Sure. You know?
Well, batters only batted 242 last season. That was the lowest since 1967 when they batted 237. Right. That year, there was no designated hitter either. Pitchers had to bat, and the mound was higher at that point too. And I think it was 68. That was the year of the pitcher, I believe. Bob Gibson and everything.
68. That was Denny McLean too. I remember from the Raiders. I think he was on.
We're watching these,
Gibson from St. Louis, and
the shift. Obviously the batting averages were going down, so it's going to help.
Seriously, but just thinking now back in the 60s and and Koufax and Drysdale and Juan Marichal and the Giants and the rivalries they had with and Johnny Roseboro, the catcher, and the fights, and it was so exciting. It was cool. But we'll see.
I mean, when you're scoring, games are going to take a little longer also because you're going to be going around the bases and pitching changes and all kinds of stuff. So in this way, you speed up. In one way, you speed up the game because, in other ways, it might take just a little bit longer also.
Right. And, they've done that over the years, too, about the pitching, the height of the mound, the distance. They've tried to help pitchers. Now they're trying to help batters more in there, and, back in the old days, a home plate used to be a circle. And now, it's diamond shaped. Yeah, and with the point going back, and that's a big thing with when it comes to this. I won't get technical about the strike zone and where it and all
easier
those things.
To see it.
Yeah, all those things. There's a lot more to all the little inches and feet and stuff in baseball than people think about, and it got brought up with the base thing. So
played. Yes, you mentioned Denny McLain. He won 31 games in 1968. 31-6. Cy Young, 2 Cy Young awards, American MVP, American League MVP award. Of course, his personal life, not the best, associated with organized crime, eventually convicted on charges of embezzlement. He served time in prison.
He goes, he was a great pitcher though, right? He was, and he was a Tiger, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought.
The last player to get 31 wins, I just don't see how that's ever going to happen again. 30 wins,
right? Well, and that's the other thing about baseball. Now they don't pitch complete games like they used to. Now they've got all these setup guys and specialists and all that stuff.
Well, if you pitch
6 innings, that's a quality start, or 5 innings. And I'm like,
if you're pitching only once every 5 games, that's 30 times 5. That's 150, and there's only 162 games.
Right.
So you got to pitch like every 4 games in order to get to 30
and which they used to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they totally used to do that all the time.
That ain't happening.
No, it's not, and it'll never happen again. So that's now we have all these specialists and setup guys and closers and all that, and
sure do.
And
even the starting pitchers nowadays, not the starting pitcher.
That's exactly right. That's right. Yeah, a lot of them have turned into closers
Tampa Bay started
that can go like, instead of 1 or 2 batters or 1 inning, they can go 3 innings, because they were a starter.
Yeah, but they'll bring him out in the first inning and then put your starter in after that.
That happens too.
Yeah.
So let's see. The extra innings, I guess we're going to be, this is permanent all season now. I thought this was going to be one of those COVID kind of things. But now we're going to start a man on second base.
I know. Don't like it.
extra inning.
Don't like it. That they've done it the last 3 seasons, right? 20, 21, 22. They're going to do it again. Not a fan of that either. Automatic runner on second. Yeah, it's for both teams, and they're trying not to do the 18, 20 inning extra inning games and all that. And this won't apply to the regular season, though. I only will apply to the regular season.
Right.
They won't do it in the
Oh,
playoffs.
really?
Yeah, they won't do it in the playoffs.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
That's good. That
Is good.
So yeah, so that'll shorten some games, obviously.
Correct.
A lot less extra innings. Now there was that one other one, the throws to the base. You can only throw twice to a particular base per batter,
Yes.
or they can move an extra
so-
base, and then you can throw twice to that base.
So here's the deal.
Okay.
The batter has 8 seconds to get in the batter's box, or they call it automatic strike. Okay.
And we've seen that happen, and
and he
it
gets-
ended a preseason game.
Yeah. He gets 1 timeout per plate appearance, or he can time out and step out
Okay.
and go back. The pitcher, he can do 2 step offs per plate appearance. Okay. And then the limit, though, is reset if a runner advances a base.
Right.
So like if he steals or whatever. So yeah, those are, a couple. I'm glad you brought that up,
Yeah.
because there's a couple little things that I wanted to hit on there.
But so you throw to the base 2 times, but then the third time the runner can go, or you can throw to the base. Something's going to happen. Either he's going to get to the next base, or there's going to be a balk, or he's going to be out. I mean, it certainly speeds things up there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's the whole idea.
Didn't think about
It-
Bach. That's a good one. Didn't
It
think
will,
about that.
exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And so it'll be interesting. I mean, they've been Major League Baseball has been doing it here in spring training, but
Yeah.
What is that like? 16, 20 games, and of course you don't have all your guys playing or the lineups playing all the time. There might be on another field, split squads and all that.
There's going to be a period of adjustment
Yeah.
here.
In the last week leading up to the season, then you'll see more of the guys that have been playing in those games,
That's right.
and more of the starters, but so it'll be interesting to
Yeah.
see that.
And I guess the divisions themselves, that the schedule has changed quite a bit.
Yeah, that was the next thing I
Oh.
wanted to bring up. The 5 teams in each division, 6 divisions, 30 teams, right? So you play the other 4 teams. You used to play the other 4 teams in your division like 19 times.
Crazy.
And so like the Dodgers would play the Giants 19 times, for example. And now they've cut it down to 13. So you're going to play them 6 less. So that's 24 fewer games. And they will
Within your division.
within your division. Now, I think it's a good idea, actually, because you're going to be playing teams that you haven't played, or going to their park, which you've never done, which is a fan thing, right? There's fans that have never seen, say, Ohtani, because he's the biggest name right now. And because they live in a certain way, the Angels never go there. Well, now that will change. And so I think it's a good idea.
It's
Well,
way
it
good guy.
Sounds like a great idea.
I think it's
Yeah.
and
Even hockey, they make sure that every team plays in every other building,
Right.
right, in the entire league.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah, the other thing is interesting. Part of that is like you'll take certain teams, and I won't go into, but you'll get the team that's really bad in that division, and the team that's and they get to play them 19 times, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's like that can really change your overall win-loss record.
Well, they're saying
and,
St. Louis took advantage of that last year, because the
Yeah.
division was pretty poor, and they
Yeah.
had 90 wins, and
Yeah.
they probably should have landed around like 85.
Yeah, I mean, it can definitely make a difference, and I think that's a really good idea to do
Okay.
that. So
Well, how about the umpires? We got to talk about them too. They're also part of the game.
That's
I
right.
suppose.
that's right. I was going to bring this up a while back on one of the shows, but it didn't. I don't think we got
Didn't
there.
quite make it.
There's
but
actually-
we saved it for this.
Right. There's actually 70 umpires. There's 17 crews of 4, so that's 68,
Mhm.
plus 2 what they call rovers. Obviously, when we see playoffs and World Series, you have 6 umps out there. You have 1
Right.
down the right field, left field line. But anyway, there was 10 umpires that retired this year, so we have 10 new MLB umpires and 7 new crew chiefs. So that's all good stuff. I mean, guys retire, guys get promoted. And I thought,
And to go along with the new rules, maybe that's a good thing, because the old guys might not be thrilled about the rules changes.
yeah, they're be going, yeah, those suck. I don't want to call them, and so I quit. No, anyway, I think that's probably has some truth to
a
it.
little bit to it.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd hit that on the umps again. There's 70 umpires for MLB and to start the year, and that's always good to bring those guys and women umpires. When we, right?
We don't have any.
I know. So you think there's some of them going to umpire school and all that, and
it's coming. I'm
it's
sure.
oh sure.
Well, in the minors, I'm sure we have.
There is
here there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think.
Okay. So I was going through the sports book, and there are numerous sheets here for the beginning of the season. I mean, obviously, for the teams, you got your World Series, your pennant, your division odds. There's also, will a team make or miss the playoffs? You can bet on that. Players, I mean, you're going to have so many more. League leaders in strikeouts, hits, runs, RBIs, wins, saves, stolen bases, home runs, the MVP and Cy Young race, Rookie of the Year, and there's even more than that.
That's right.
Is there anything really that kind of interests you, or you're kind of looking at, like maybe you could make a prediction or
well,
picks,
I was gonna
something
okay,
you
we'll do
expect to
that.
happen?
I was gonna do that last. I was gonna talk about some team stuff I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
But we'll
can do
we'll
that
go
first.
with that.
Okay. All right.
I have say the National and American League, thinking the award winners for MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, and Manager of the Year.
Okay.
So at this point, it looks like Ohtani in the American League, and Soto from San Diego in the National League. Ohtani for Cy Young in the American League, and Corbin Burns, he's a pitcher for Milwaukee for the National League. Rookie of the Year. And this kid's going to be fun to watch. Gunnar Henderson. He's a rookie. He's on Baltimore, and he's already showing a lot. And then there's also Corbin Carroll. He is also a rookie from Arizona, and these two guys have wow. They look pretty impressive so far in camp, and now they're going to be starting for their teams and right at the top as Rookie of the Years. Rookie of the Year. Then we have Manager of the Year.
I was going to say there's a big story about the Yankees having a rookie shortstop this year, but you're not totally high on this kid.
Oh no, I wouldn't say I'm not totally high on him.
That was a big news. The guy, the next he was Derek Jeter, supposedly.
Right, he was bad. Yeah, that was a battle between him and another guy, and they were both rookies, from what I remember. And he's getting to play in the major leagues and I'm trying to think of his name now.
Oh, well, that's okay. I should have.
There it is. Anthony Volpe. That's it.
Anthony
That's
Volpe.
exactly who it is. Anthony Volpe. And he looks really strong.
Okay.
He does. If you look at this Gunnar Henderson, who Rookie of the Year that I think for Baltimore, amazing. And then Carroll from Arizona for the National League. But Anthony Volpe. Okay. There's going to be a lot of young guys exciting to watch, no doubt.
That was the Yankees' biggest question to me, was who's going to be shortstop.
Right. And
they did really good.
Yeah, and he was battling, I can't think of the other guy's name at this point either, but they were battling, and just earlier, in this last week, they decided it would be Anthony Volpe. Yeah. So that'll be fun to watch.
First rookie since Jeter to be shortstop and be in the opening lineup for the Yankees.
Very cool. That's cool stuff.
1996.
Wow.
Very cool stuff. Yeah, there's going to be, I think I mentioned, there's a lot of young players that are getting into the majors a little earlier than usual. And I think it's a good thing if they show themselves in spring training and more in the minor system, and they're getting their shot, and we'll see what happens. Real quick, Manager of the Year. These aren't exactly totally like all these, not exactly my picks. I do think rookie of the year and the Cy Young, I'm pretty hot on those picks. But manager of the year, Schneider from Toronto and Bob Melvin from San Diego, the old Oakland A.
Love your
manager.
Toronto pick. I love that one.
Yeah, and I think, and Bob Melvin, I mean, San Diego really spent a lot of money like the Dodgers usually do and got a great bunch of players and a great lineup. But does that mean they'll win the whole thing? No, it doesn't. But we'll see what, I have a really good buddy here in town that's a big Padre fan, and I'll root for him if they're not playing the Dodgers or but we'll see what happens. But Bob Melvin has always been a good man.
Didn't Bruce Bochy come back out?
He did,
and he's with Texas.
He's with, and
wouldn't that be something if Texas made the playoffs?
Well,
he would certainly be a candidate.
They're going to have a really even better team now this year. And I was going to get into some of that in a little bit. So,
okay.
While we're there, well, MVP, I said Ohtani, but we have Ohtani. It could be Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, if he stays healthy.
Yeah, what do you expect from Aaron Judge after
that young Julio Rodriguez for Seattle? Fun to watch him.
62 home runs, 130 RBIs.
I think he's going to have another really good year.
60 home runs.
I think, I think very possible. I think very possible.
I am too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say it, but man, you start thinking about it, it's very possible.
And I always loved Mike Trout, one of the best players in the game. And, he, a lot of injuries, and hopefully he stays healthy and we'll see what happens. And of course, the biggest trade talk still will be Ohtani for next year, to see what happens.
He'll be a free agent at the end of this year, right?
So
why wouldn't you trade him at the trade deadline if your team is terrible?
Well, and that's you're exactly right. And exactly what I was going to say is that we'll see at the trade deadline where the Angels are, right? Mm-hmm. If they're got no chance to, make it, then that's the time to do it, right. With Ohtani. So we'll see how that goes.
I think this is the year that the Angels have to win their division or they're not going to win their division for a while. Well, I think this is that year.
Houston,
Houston, sure, but Altuve's out for 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
Well, there are 3 wild cards now, so finishing second should get you in the playoffs.
Right. And you're right. Losing players like that really hurts, but the Astros have a very, very good team and some depth. So
that's going to be a sad day when Ohtani is no longer on the Angels.
Well, okay,
unless he goes to the Dodgers,
can we stay on the
West? To the A's, I know that.
Right.
What do you think about Seattle since we're talking about the West? Because I think that division, Houston,
I have all that, but
in Seattle and Texas, you got 4 teams that can win that division.
Yeah.
Well, should we start? Did you have any other players of the year?
I was going to the MVP. I named a couple guys. National League. For some reason, I've never been a big fan of him, Juan Soto, but he's supposed to have a great year this year. Mookie Betts, Paul Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt won it last year.
Ronald Acuna Jr. now having a full year where he's healthy and stuff. And Arenado also for St. Louis.
Right.
Tatis, people talk about it. We'll see. He's been out for a while.
Still suspended.
He looked good. Yeah, I think he misses the first 20 games.
Yeah.
He looked great, and now he's not even going to play shortstop. Now they're going to have him in the outfield, and he was supposed to be their star shortstop. So I don't know.
We'll see what many shortstops already.
Well, yeah, they got a bunch. So we'll see what happens with that. And and where were we at? We were going to talk about that.
Well, I wanted to talk about the AL West because that's what we're talking about, and I really think that that's wide open. And I really think, in my eyes, the Angels are going to win 84 games. Is Houston going to win 90?
What did I have here?
No.
85. Yeah, I think Houston
90.
Oh, totally. They'll win at least 90.
I say under.
Yeah, no,
I say under.
They'll win over 90. That's and that's our opinions, right?
Right.
I think still that the top 2 teams in that division are going to be Houston and Seattle. The Angels, and you can't forget the Rangers. I
think the Angels
they're going to have a lot better team. So we'll see what happens.
They have to do it this year.
Well, I know it doesn't mean they're gonna, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Because that's where I'm seeing Seattle.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be talking about Seattle because they're expected to have 87 wins.
Right. You're looking at like overs and unders on the wins.
Yes, but I'm trying to pick the winner out of the West. in the AL West. Try to pick the winner out
Well,
there.
I would
Everyone's
I
gonna
would be
pick the
surprised if it
Astros.
wasn't the Astros, but
That's where I'm saying.
but Seattle, I will root for Seattle definitely. I'm not a
And then
big
you got
Astros
both
fan
teams.
anyway.
Oh,
That's
what's
just
to like
you
about
say.
the Astros? They cheat and they win, and
Right.
you know what's
Well,
fun
yeah,
about that?
I've never been a big fan of theirs, and not just because of the cheating in 2017, but
Yeah.
I've just never been a fan. Seattle, I've always loved Seattle. I used to be a big Sonic fan when they had a basketball team there, and
Ken Griffey Jr.
and Ken, one of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
And that guy got hurt all the time because he went full 100% after the ball, and otherwise he'd probably be the home run king. So
Yeah, that's true, and never associated with
Ever.
performance
No.
enhancing drugs either.
actually, he was coaching too for the WBC
Yeah, he
team in
was.
the World Baseball Classic. And we'll see what the Rangers do. Actually, they added a lot, and we'll see
Managing.
how good.
That could be the biggest addition.
That's
We'll see.
that could do something. You never know.
Okay.
You want to go to another division?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
go
it.
ahead. What'd you like?
AL Central.
Okay, we'll go to Central.
Okay.
Okay, here we go with the Chicago White Sox, the team that everybody always says every year is going to be doing good. They're like the Toronto Maple Leafs to me. To me, I don't think Cleveland's going to win that division. I don't. And
That was a
think
big surprise last year.
And I think Minnesota or the White Sox are going to win it. But I like the White Sox. I want to jump on it. I like the White Sox this year to win that division.
I like the White Sox, and I thought they'd do better. And if you notice, and of course, Terry Francona is my favorite, the Cleveland manager. I think he's one of the best ever. And
Hard to
so
argue.
I was glad that they won last year. And it was amazing is that the White Sox and the Twins especially fell a lot last year, and the Guardians now ended up winning that division by a whole bunch.
Right.
By the time it was over. I think they're going to be there again. They're a really good team, really well managed. Like I say, they play a lot of small ball, and they can run and hit and steal and do all that kind of stuff, which I love. And they added a couple guys with some power too. I'm thinking Cleveland's going to win that division again.
Now the books have them at 87.5 win total.
Yeah, I had 88 written down here, and I had the Twins at 88. But and I think the Twins, they're going to be better than they were. And I always root for the White Sox. I know
it's just one of those things. I know I'm with you.
We'll see what
It's just so hard not to.
Right, and they have a new manager now too. They had Tony La Russa for that short time. So
he's done.
He is
finally retired.
Yeah. Finally, yeah. I think he had some health issues too at the end of last year, and
well, you did have a history of drinking a lot, so eventually that's supposed to catch up to you.
It does. I can tell you it does. No, it's like, anyway, we'll move on.
Yes, we move on. I guess we have the AL East.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, I like Toronto to win this division, and I know that's saying a lot because you got the Yankees. I don't like Boston. I don't like Baltimore, and Tampa Bay. They don't spend the money, so I think that hurts them a lot. But for some reason, they always do okay, even though they don't spend that money.
They do. They always find a way, and
they always find a way. But I really like Toronto. And the books have Toronto winning 91.5 games. I'm thinking 90 games, but that's enough to get you to the playoffs. That's enough to win the division. That's enough to do all that.
Yeah, not a big fan of Toronto. Okay, won't get into why or anything of the Blue Jays, I should say, not anything to do with Canada. I love Canada. Well, at least on the Vancouver, British Columbia part that I've been to. So anyway, but the Blue Jays are going to be good. I have their 95, and you see I have a 90 there too on wins. The Yankees are going to be good. I like the Orioles, always have. I think they surprised people last year. I think they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be good. The Rays are always gonna be there, and I like the Red Sox, and I think they've improved their team. So
now, if you like the Red Sox, I would suggest going to get that win total. The books have them at 77. They should win 80.
Yeah, And I had I had 68 to 86. This disparity. I won't get into all that how I got there, but
well, Gator, if this was soccer, this would be the group of death right here.
I would say so, yes.
Because every team is potential to be really good.
I agree.
I think.
Well, no, I think the West.
I think so.
I think the ALS would be the group.
Well, but the A's are in it,
Right.
So that doesn't
right. And we don't know.
And that is not the group.
And the Rangers and the A's and the Rangers and the Angels should do better, but
yeah.
Okay, a bit I'll give you.
We got 162 games to find out, and of course we don't know about injuries or what's going to happen at the trade deadline.
But the only reason I don't think it's the group of death is because of Baltimore and Boston.
You don't think they're going to do well this year?
I think it's going to be the same as last year.
And that those are the two teams I've been a fan of all my life. Is the Orioles. I remember watching when Brooks Robinson was a third baseman, and the first glove I ever got from my dad, rest in peace, was a Brooks Robinson Rawlings glove that I played shortstop with and had it forever. And I've always been a Red Sox fan. I'm a Celtic fan in basketball, and I'm a Red Sox fan in baseball.
And a Bruins fan in hockey.
And I root for them.
Good.
I hear that for them.
That's my team.
So okay. And I think they're going to be good. Okay.
Well, let's go to the East then, and the NL East.
Okay.
Let's start with. Okay. Well, who do you like? Who do you like, Ronnie?
The NL. What are we starting? The East.
We're going to go backwards this time.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Mets, but I think the Mets and the Braves are going to be the top two teams again. I think the Phillies are going to be good. They were last year. Could be better this year. Well, again, we just talked about Harper, and also talked about Rice Hoskins, who they're losing for probably the year, and he's one of their great players and leaders on that team that you don't hear his name.
The Mets are going into the season crippled again, like they have in the last 5 years, I'm guessing.
But they picked up a lot of guys, and they picked up a lot of guys. The Mets did, and of course, got Justin Verlander with Scherzer. That's and I wanted them both, actually. Well, I had Scherzer for a while, the Dodgers did, and I wanted them to get Verlander, but they didn't. But yeah, the Phillies, you got to watch. And of course, they got Trey Turner, who is sadly not a Dodger anymore. He didn't want to play on the West Coast. He wanted to play on the East Coast, and he got his wish. That's his preference. The guy has always been a really great hitter, stolen base, great shortstop.
Look great in the baseball classic too.
Yeah, exactly. He had five home runs. And he's not a home run hitter, right? He's a leadoff batter and a base stealer and stuff. And a really, really great player. And the Phillies have him. And
Atlanta's won the division 5 years in a row, so there's really nothing.
Well, yeah,
you've really seen from these.
Would they end up tied last year at 100 wins each? The Mets and the Braves, and the Braves won out at the end to get the better seed or to win the division. So I think they'll both be back. Phillies are going to be right in on that too, battling them. The Marlins actually are going to probably be better than they were. The Nationals are still going to be, in the rebuild mode. So,
okay. NL, we'll go backwards. So NL Central.
Okay. Oh, wow. I've seen a lot of analysts taking Chicago Cubs, and I really don't understand why.
They've added a lot of veteran players.
But you have Milwaukee, you have St. Louis. Those are the two.
Yep.
Cincinnati's going to be Cincinnati. The books have them at 66.5 on total wins.
Yeah, that's right. In between those two,
so
6-7, right? Yeah.
I like Milwaukee. In that division, I'll take Milwaukee. St. Louis, I mean, you could split hairs there.
Cardinals won the division by 7 games last year.
It's interesting what you said about them playing though that last place team 19 times, where they only played 13 times this year. And
the Reds and the Pirates were
those things could
completely horrible.
Those and the Reds and the Pirates both have some good young guys that they're rebuilding still. The Cubs are going to be better than they were, but I don't know.
Yeah, it could be one of those. It could be one of those things where the NL Central only gets one team in the playoffs.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, even though there's 3 wild cards, that's a possibility. It is,
because you're not going to be beating up on the Pirates. And
it is. Yeah, and the Cardinals are going to be they're a good team. They've got good players. They're going to be good again. That's a toss up there with the Cardinals and the Brewers in that.
And they'll make
division.
trades at the deadline to
Of
fill a
course,
hole or two. They always do.
Well, yeah, either from injuries or just because, hey, we got a shot for the playoffs in this, so let's do this or do that. And and there'll be the teams down at the bottom giving up some of those players that those teams want. So, it's always kind of exciting to see what happens there.
Okay. And that leaves us with the NL West, with some would say saving the best for last for some people.
Right.
I guess so.
Sitting around here
Right.
in present company.
Right. Yeah. Well, obviously the Dodgers didn't do much in the offseason, and they're counting on a lot of young players that have come up from the minors who are looking really good. They've always had one of the top farm systems in baseball and still do, actually. So we'll see, what happens. And if Kershaw can, last the whole year without getting hurt.
Well, you can forget that.
If some of the other guys, Gonsolin and especially Dustin May, those young guys, if they coming back from Dustin May from the Tommy John surgery, and Urias, who has always pitched great for them. We'll see what the new guys that they picked up. Martinez from Boston.
Sure.
They also, Justin Hayward. I mean, I love seeing Jason Hayward.
Jason
right?
Hayward.
Yeah, I love seeing him, back again, and we'll see, how he does with the Dodgers. And I have 96 down here wins.
There was 111 last year.
And the year before was 106 when the Giants beat him out with 107,
Right.
The Dodgers won that division 9 out of the last 10 years. And
so going down to 96, that's
I think
significant drop.
Yeah,
But
it is. But
still,
I think both.
I even have it lower than that. I think an 89.
I think both them and the Padres will be in the 90s. And I don't, the Padres, I don't know. They've spent a lot of money and did a lot of things. And again, doesn't mean you're going to win, but they're going to be good. And the Giants, what did I have down here? Like 81. So that's 81 and 81. Like
that's better than last year, right?
The Giants they've got a decent team and some good pitching, and pitching is big and important. And we'll see how that goes. The D-backs will be better than they were. The Rockies are still going to be kind of down there for a while.
Okay.
So
what do you think, Gator?
Wow. Well, betting purposes, the books have the Dodgers and the Padres at 94.5, and I don't think either one of them are going to get 94.5. I think the Dodgers are going to end up with 89. I think San Diego is going to end up with 79.
Oh,
now,
wow.
those are going to be your top teams in that division. I don't think San Francisco's. I think they're a mediocre team. I think Colorado is as good as Cincinnati, and I think Arizona is probably going to be better than last year.
Yeah,
The books have them at 76.5. I say they're going to win 79.
What about
on
that?
who? The D-backs?
The D-back.
What did I have here? 74. The
Bringing the
No, I
hammer
think-
down.
I think the Dodgers and
American
Padres will both
National
be-
League West.
Dodgers and Padres will both be in the 90s, and I think the Giants will be in. D-backs will be better. The Giants will be probably.
Well, that's
at
going to be
81.
interesting
We'll
to
see,
see
yeah.
how that.
It will be very interesting, and that's
Yeah.
why we play the game,
But
right?
I don't see a lot of it as far as betting purposes, man. In this, the West, NL West, I don't see a lot of positive numbers to
Mhm.
bet on. I mean, you look at you have the Dodgers to make the playoffs -9. You have San Diego to make the playoffs -480. So you're going to have to put up a lot of money there anyway.
Well, you want to go for the plus money if
So-
you can.
You got Colorado to not make the playoffs on a -70, 7,000, right? And then you have Arizona to not make the playoffs on a -600. So I'm just saying,
Totally. No, I
There's no
totally get you
values
with
there.
with the value on the betting. I'm totally with you on that. No question. Going on what I think who's going to actually do what. Yeah, you might not win a lot of money betting that way.
but I'm just telling you, the books even
Sure.
are saying that they're not too up on it either.
Right. And we know they're not always right.
Well, yes.
No,
Lot.
none of us are.
But they're still making billions.
None of us are. Yeah. Yeah.
They're not always right, but they're still making
That's right.
billions.
I think real quick, listen, the top 10 teams that I'm looking at, San Diego, the Yankees, the Astros, the Mets, the Braves, the Phillies, Seattle, Mariners, Toronto, St. Louis, and the Dodgers. I think those are about the top 10 teams in, I would say, at the beginning of the season anyway.
Hard to argue that, sure.
And lineup wise, I think all those would be the same, except I would probably add Cleveland and delete Seattle for the best lineups going into the season. So
to your point, sure.
Okay.
Seattle sure hasn't proved it to us.
Yeah, and I'm a big Seattle fan, so I root for them, but I'm also a big Cleveland fan, and again, Terry Francona fan, and but aside from those things,
Sure,
Okay.
exactly.
Well, we are going to have to get to some pennant and World Series predictions, but if there's something else we want to
do we?
yeah, whether you like it or not, I guess.
Right.
But if there's something you want to add quickly before,
I'd say a few things like, I had a lot of other info, but we won't.
we could have gone a couple hours.
We could have. I've got way too much stuff.
But
It's good stuff, but
it's
it's a lot.
it's good to have, and it got you prepared for the season, if nothing else.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I did. And also got my mind all like twisted up too.
And when you want to make your wagers, you'll
That's right.
have all this
That's right.
information floating around in your head.
I think
That'd be
just
good.
real quick, teams that could turn around, we've kind of hit on it. I think the Angels, the Cubs, the D-backs, the Marlins, the Twins, the Rangers, and the Red Sox. I think they're all going to be better than they were
Last year.
And and we kind of touched on that when we talked about the division stuff. I had teams with the best rotations. I got all kinds of stuff, but if you want to we'll start wrapping her up.
We can incorporate that into our shows, I guess, as we go along during the middle of the season.
Actually, all these sheets here, there's all kinds of information for and stuff that as the season goes on, people will want to know. So we could have totally gone another hour or so.
All right. Well, here comes the part that people love, the predictions. We're going to who's going to be in the World Series, and we already went through the divisions. Who's going to be in the World Series and who's going to win it?
We're going to let Gator go first.
Okay.
Well, in the East, I like Toronto. In the West, man, that's so hard. It's a coin flip to me.
You're talking like National League and American League?
Yes.
So you're like Toronto in the American League
To go to
the World
go
Series?
to the World Series.
Oh, okay. Not just the division, but all the way to the World Series. No.
Oh, we already did divisions.
Yeah.
You
So you
want to
like
go
Toronto
straight to
World Series?
World
Yeah.
Series. World Series, yeah.
Okay.
Now I know everybody's going to go Dodgers or San Diego. I told you I don't like the West.
You got hosed.
I'll take the Angels. I'm going to say
Oh my
Toronto.
God,
And
that's
the
going to be
Angels.
crazy. You're going to get really good odds on that. Toronto and the Angels, and who you got winning it? I can come back to you on that one.
I guess the
Okay.
Angels. If you're going to go on paper,
Okay.
if I'm looking on paper, I'd have to take the Angels.
All right. Okay.
Wow.
You've had time to think about it.
Oh man, that's not enough time. It's like
Yeah.
I have a lot of different things that I'm thinking, but I'm gonna say the Braves in the National League. And I really
Oh, you know what? I can't do that.
You can't do Toronto and
I
LA
just thought
Angels
about
because-
that. I'll take the Braves too.
because they're kind of in the same.
Yeah, I just realized that too, Joe.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take the Braves.
All right.
That's a great one.
oh yeah, that's
Can't
Don't-
be.
Yeah, I kind of missed up. Yeah,
I did, yeah, I did, yeah.
We caught it.
we caught it.
So yeah, I'd say the Braves, and I still think overall, as much as I don't like them, I think the Astros just have all the way around better rounded team and system. So as much as I don't want to pick them, and it could change as the year goes on, I'd say probably the
No,
Astros.
but you're exactly right.
So,
It is hard to pick them, but you're exactly right. It's hard
Yeah.
to argue the facts.
and
Well-
any of those teams we talked about, the top two that
Yeah.
we both,
Right.
I think they're all possible, totally possible.
That's why it's so hard to pick when you ask.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Atlanta to beat Houston. I know that's so obvious. I'm going to be rooting for St. Louis.
Right.
Me too.
Hopefully St. Louis gets in there. We get some new blood in there. And
Well, I'll be rooting for the Dodgers. Wow, what a shock.
Oh, of
Of course you
right?
are.
that's old.
And the American League, I'll be rooting for Cleveland for the Guardians. So,
all right. And a lot of people around our area are going to be rooting for the Giants.
of course.
And a lot of people will be kind of rooting for the A's around here, but they won't be mentioning it because they don't want to be associated with a team that's that terrible.
Yeah, well,
But I don't mind mentioning it. It's okay.
yeah,
and-
again, I think they're
Horrible.
hopefully gonna
They got rid of their best player.
get on the
Oakland's
rebuild.
East.
Get on the
Oakland's
rebuild.
East.
Yeah, and what they get for it. That's the whole
Yeah.
thing.
And the second somebody starts playing well at the trade deadline, he's going to be gone. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it'd be very
The over
hard
and under is like 59, I believe.
hard and frustrating. It's hard and
Oh, they're
frustrating
really good.
to be
boxes.
be an A's fan now. You
Yes.
know. And,
Well, that's going to wrap it up for our Major League Baseball season preview. I need to thank Rockin' Ronnie McKinnon, Gator Gates, and our producer editor, Cornelius.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you.
And
Gator,
I-
thank you. It was a pleasure joining you guys again, and fun to be here. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Long season to go, and we've still got basketball and hockey going on right now. And
Okay, yeah.
the final March
Well,
Madness here in the weekend coming up, right?
Yeah,
So-
we're still doing our weekly shows.
That's right, Joe. Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Good to be here, man.
Okay, I'm Joe Ellison, and thank you for listening to the Covering the Field Major League Baseball season preview.
You've been listening to Covering the Field, a CM World Services and the Sage production.